Hi everyone, welcome back to BioBulletin. Today we're going to be discussing acne in a conversation into how it affects teens' mental health, what exactly acne is, some of the causes of it, and explain the treatments, including how these may change in the future.
I'm sure we're going to go into the different types of acne in a bit, but acne, everyone has it. Every teenager suffers through, like you said, Kanishka, the mental health effects of acne. Everyone's woken up one day, looked at the mirror, and seen this spot on their face, got immediately stressed out, even if it was just for a second. So many teenagers complaining you see on social media. Type in any search engine, teen acne or acne in general. It's just teenagers complaining, throwing themselves at thousands and thousands of clinics and products. They think it's some magic potion they're going to find or cream. It's this big problem for teenagers, lesser maybe in the biology world, more in the social world. And I think it's important to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, the Academy of Dermatology establishes that mild to moderate acne affects between 40 and 50 million of us. It's proposed that 100% of teens are affected in some way, and at least 85% of us,
Yeah.
85% of teens are affected fully. 70% of teens say that they feel pressure about having clear skin. Acne is also the most common skin condition in the United States, affecting up to 50 million Americans annually. Um, Acne usually begins in puberty and affects many adolescents and young adults, with
Yeah.
approximately 85% of the people being between 12 and 24. Acne can occur at any stage of life and may continue into the 30s and 40s. And acne occurring in adults is increasing, and it's affecting up to 15% of women. In 2013, the cost associated with the treatment and lost productivity among those people who sought medical care for the acne is in excess of 1.2 billion US dollars.
Whoa.
And more than 5.1 million people sought medical treatment for the acne in 2013, which was primarily consisting of children and young adults. The lost productivity, which I mentioned among patients and caregivers due to acne, was nearly 400 million US dollars. So clearly, some shocking stats.
I've read somewhere it said 80% of teens with acne are reported to have disguised acne. So they either pop the pimples, that's about 69%. They wear cover up or makeup, 35%. And among those who use medication to treat ones, only about 52% of teens with acne say they follow their skin treatment plan as exactly they should. Because everyone's talking about these like skin routines, nighttime routines, daytime routines. It's all about maintaining the skin. But disguising it, that's not the method.
So, acne is most commonly linked to the changes in hormone levels during puberty, but can start at any age. And certain hormones cause the grease producing glands next to the hair follicles in the skin to produce larger amounts of oil, this is called abnormal sebum. This abnormal sebum changes the activity of a usually harmless skin bacterium called P. acnes, which becomes more aggressive and causes inflammation and pus. So the hormones also thicken the inner lining of the hair follicle, causing blockage of the pores. Contrary to belief, cleaning the skin does not help remove this blockage. So there are six main types of spot caused by acne. Blackheads. This is a small black or yellowish bump that develops on the skin. They're not filled with dirt, but are black because of the inner lining of the hair follicle produces color. Whiteheads. They have a similar appearance to blackheads, but may be firmer and will not empty when squeezed. Papules. These are small red bumps that may feel tender or sore. Pustules. These are similar to papules but have a white tip in the center caused by a buildup of pus. Nodules. These are large, hard lumps that build up beneath the surface of the skin and can be painful. And finally, cysts. This is the most severe type of spot caused by acne. They're large, pus-filled lumps that look similar to boils and carry the greatest risk of permanent scarring.
With those different types of acne, it's not actually clear why some people are prone to more acne than others or a specific type of acne. But we know that it's caused by hormones called androgens. So you guys heard of those?
Yeah.
So they increase in both boys and girls during puberty. They basically make the skin's oil glands larger and make more sebum. And you have a genetics to blame as well for acne tendency. It may be an inherited thing. So those are two key, I guess, predominant factors towards reasoning acne. Uh, like I said before, all these teenagers, especially, typing up, finding new treatments. You've got those non-prescription, over-the-counter, topical treatments like acetic acid, benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid. There's gels, lotions, creams, and
Yeah.
they're moderately affected. Then you have those prescriptive treatments. There's adapalene, dapsone, those are all available. What they basically do is they control the acne by curbing the growth of the bacteria, so decrease the inflammation your eye is drawn to, when you look in a mirror. These treatments, they're basically designed to reduce the size of the oil glands, so much less oil is produced, prevents those clogged pores. That's how the curbing really works.
I mean, with regards to psychological impact, which obviously is a huge impact, as we mentioned earlier, I'm sure many of our teen listeners, perhaps going through acne-related issues at present, can relate, or even some of our audio audience who have maybe experienced acne in their childhood or are continuing to, can definitely relate to the mental drawback. So there's a correlation with increased acne severity and increased mental health and psychological problems, of course. But there are a lot of the psychological effects is, I suppose, subjective. I don't know if that's the right word to use here, but individual, I say. So it's based on the person and how they react to a given situation or circumstance. Some individuals can, of course, have severe acne and not be personally affected by it or even view it as an issue, while others with relatively mild cases can feel extremely down and self-conscious and even depressed. Acne is associated with increased risk of depression, anxiety, and suicidal tendencies. And there are some interesting gender differences. So it's been suggested that patients with moderate to severe acne suffer from poor body image, low self-esteem, and experience social isolation and constriction of activities. As part of our as part of the emotional impact, increased levels of anxiety, anger, depression, and frustration are also observed in patients with acne. In a study of 615 school children, adolescent girls were found to be more vulnerable than boys to the negative psychological effects of acne, and anxiety levels were also seen as higher. Given the fact that acne causes psychological suffering, it can affect social, vocational, and academic performance of teenagers. So while it may appear as just a skin problem, it can have far-reaching and really quite detrimental consequences. It in its most extreme, it has been shown and can even cause suicidal thoughts, although those are often not as necessarily a direct consequence of the acne itself, but perhaps as more of a result of bullying surrounding it, perhaps even a drop in grades and stuff because of the other psychological impacts. So there have also been many studies on the psychosocial impact of acne, which have documented dissatisfaction with appearance, embarrassment, self-consciousness, and a lack of confidence when speaking to the opposite gender. Furthermore, acne is associated with lower body satisfaction and body image issues.
So I think, do you think that the body image issues stem from social media? I mean, you look on social media right now, Instagram, you see all of these people with clear skin, etc. Sometimes they claim to have some sort of herbal remedy or magic remedy or whatever they talk about, but most of the time, it's not really affecting them. So most of these people are into their 20s, mid 20s, or late 20s, or they've had some reconstructive surgery, etc. So do you think that false information and false claims on social media is causing all of this stigma around body image?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also important to remember that on top of people having plastic surgery, claiming to have herbal remedies and things, a lot of the pictures seen on social media can be photoshopped. So, a lot of females, for example, do Photoshop the pictures and can wear a heavy makeup in the pictures, and male celebrities also do the same. So there's a certain stereotype painted by social media, which causes the youth of the youths to kind of idealize a certain body type and a certain skin type and a certain image, which isn't necessarily naturally attainable or realistic to have 24/7. But I think yeah, there definitely is a huge issue, and it's important that celebrities do kind of own up to the fact that they may be editing their pictures um, and not influencing teens and young adults in a way that in a negative way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's good, but for those changes to happen, it's quite difficult,
Yeah,
especially with the current climate. So it's one of those things where people will still get sidetracked by it until we give them proper education about certain stuff. And sometimes we see all of these people being exposed, as it were, and that kind of helps build faith that social media and reality are two very different things, and they should be kept as such as well.
furthermore, celebrities can often endorse certain products, and you mentioned herbal remedies, things like that. They can get paid to do, so they wouldn't necessarily be as willing to say that their pictures have been photoshopped or that their appearance is due to external factors,
True,
which aren't just purely the herbal remedies.
true. I mean, one other point we could discuss is the fact that people with acne generally could have a harder time in school because they're of the concept of bullying, or maybe even just harmless teasing or banter that can lead to a feeling of insecurity or negativity towards their own self, and that can create a negative body image, but very much through the real world, and that could also lead on to more sinister mental conditions.
Yeah, definitely. As I mentioned with the suicidal thoughts and tendencies.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've covered that quite well. So there are some common ingredients that are said to benefit acne, and these are yogurt, cultured buttermilk, and cheese, and other foods that are produced by bacterial fermentation, such as Japanese miso, tempeh, sauerkraut, sourdough, bread, chocolate, kimchi, olives, and pickles. I think another fermented dairy product is kefir, and among these, the dominant food vehicles are still yogurts and fermented milks, both of which provide a relatively low pH environment in which bacteria survive. So, what is it about those foods that make them so good for acne?
Well, there's something called probiotics, right? So they're basically microorganisms, like you said, that naturally occur within and on the body, and they greatly impact skin's health and overall appearance. That's why they're so key. That's why there's something called probiotic skincare. They're all well known in food and supplement world using probiotics for skin. So it's basically mean topically, and it's emerging. And I think it's a new frontier. It's not as easy as just buying any probiotic cream. Basically, it's in order to truly reap the benefits of it, there's key formula consideration they have to take into consideration. So with probiotics, they're important because they encompass an ever-changing array of microorganisms living on and on within the surface of our bodies. So every person has their own distinctive combination of these organisms. So that's called your microbiome. And actually, recently, researchers truly started understanding the impacts it has on skin acne and other conditions. Like I said, it's a new field, it's a new frontier. So basically, to give an idea of how far the research has come, less than 10 years ago, scientists thought people had about 200 different types of microbes living in and on our bodies, like I said. But today we know there are trillions of critters sharing space with us. So I know it's scary, but we literally couldn't exist without them. So sun damage, airborne pollutants, diet, irritating skincare products. They're just a few examples of what can throw the skin's microbiome out of balance, leading to those lingering issues like acne and sensitive skin. So the goal of probiotic skincare is basically to restore the delicate balance that allows a good bacteria to flourish, so the skin can keep itself in peak shape.
I think with regards like how probiotics work and stuff, so skin pH increases with age, making it drier and allowing more bad bacteria to grow. I'm saying bad for the sake of simplification, but UV damage from the sun also impairs the skin's ability to fight free radicals, which are normal byproducts of our bodily metabolic processes that damage our cells, basically. So research suggests that some probiotics feed healthy bacteria to balance the skin's pH and protect against free radical damage. So some bacteria may help prevent skin cancers and could potentially change some of the ways which skin grows so it has a healthy appearance. Um, Probiotics can also improve the level of hydration of your skin, as well as help prevent breakouts and clarify your skin. And they can also repair skin and reduce its sensitivity, which is quite interesting. And I find it interesting how they work in terms of introducing healthy bacteria.
So the probiotic is basically, I guess, is the present method that's being used in present. I guess you can call it a technology that's helping to manage acne, work with acne. But obviously, there's going to be future, you know.
So a potentially promising approach is the use of nitric oxide releasing agents. So nitric oxide has diverse functionality, including potent anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and antioxidant effects.
Certainly.
NO can inhibit multiple elements of the inflammasome complex, and the group is developing nanoparticles that generate nitric oxide from a nitrate salt, slowly and safely releasing NO to kill P. acnes and inhibit inflammation by acting on multiple components of the NLP3 inflammasome. The nanoparticles are ready for testing in the clinic right now. And another approach is that the skin science company Dermira is developing a novel small molecule that, if approved, will be the first to target excess sebum production. DRM01, also known as olumocostat glyceretyl, penetrates the skin and concentrates in the sebacous gland, where it inhibits acetyl coenzyme, a carboxylase, an enzyme that plays an important role in the synthesis of more than 80% of sebum lipids.
Yeah, I guess that's quite an interesting future prospect. Sorry. I guess to summarize, we can say that acne is a huge problem which affects so many people, and it's clearly something that no one's truly exempt from. I think with regards treatment plans and how treatment may evolve in the future, there are many possible routes which acne treatment may take, ranging from probiotics to the multitude of treatments Ashish just mentioned. Um, I think those will really help in terms of the mental health aspects and the severe consequences those can have on people's lives, and also improving body image issues which we discussed, and the rates of depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem and confidence that we discussed. I think overall it's quite a relatively informative podcast, and yeah, I think I hope it highlighted the magnitude of acne.
Thank you guys for listening to today's podcast. Please like the video, subscribe, share. Please follow our Instagram and Twitter handles at BioBulletin. If you have any comments or future podcast ideas, please leave them in the Google forms in the description below. See you next time.